Would you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you call the roll, please?
Carter. Here. Coleman. Taylor.
Here.
Davis. Allen.
Here.
Rucker. Bonds.
Here. I'd like to begin our meeting by reading the mission and vision statement. The mission of Rich Township High School District 227 is to sustain a focus on students and on student success. We envision a culturally relevant, innovative school district that provides a foundation of opportunities for our students to thrive. And we'll start with item 3.01, an annual report by transportation.
Good afternoon, Board and Dr. Thomas. For my first item, I'd like to introduce Tracy Middleton, Director of Transportation.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Thomas.
Good evening.
My name is Tracy Middleton, the Director for Transportation and Business Services. And tonight I will provide an overview of transportation services for the 26 year and an update on our transition to in-house transportation. I'll begin with the size of the operation that we manage during the school year. Each school day, our transportation manages 33 morning and afternoon routes and 14 late activity routes, which includes both campuses, FAC and STEM, and our transition center. These routes are not simply moving buses, they are connecting students to school and to the programs they need. Transportation is for approximately 1,500 students. We got 200 special ed students, and we route roughly 46 students for our early college initiative program at Perry State College. We also support intercampus shuttles, late activity buses for athletics and activities, field trips, and other athletic programs. That support continues beyond the regular school day. Field trips and activity transportation. This slide reflects the transportation work that happens beyond our daily routes. Every trip requires advanced scheduling, driver, and vehicle availability, coordination with our school and programs. This level of activity reinforces why early planning and clear communication is so important. More importantly, each of these trips connects students to an experience or opportunity. Transportation for student services. These services support 4 main areas: instruction, student activities, specialized student services, and district operations. Whether students are traveling to a college event, athletic event, transition program, or another campus, transportation helps these students have the opportunities possible. Managing the range of services taught us several important lessons this year. 25-26 confirmed that transportation is large and complex. Different programs have different schedules, staffing needs, and communication requirements. Early planning allows us to respond more efficiently and reduce last-minute challenges. These lessons help us guide our move towards in-house transportation. Why in-house transportation? The goal of the in-house transportation is greater responsiveness and accountability. Direct oversight allows the district to address route changes, staffing, communication, and service concern more quickly while keeping student safety and access at the center of our decisions. One visible part of that preparation is how our new buses will be identified. Each bus will display the district's name and the number assigned. Our phone number will be provided to report any concerns. These features will make the buses easy to identify and provide families in our community with a direct way to share concerns. While we continue preparing the fleet and staff and routes for in-house transportation, maintaining dependable service throughout the transition is top priority. Our current in-house transportation progress, we have completed the feasibility study. Job descriptions are complete. Staffing and routing planning is underway. Our buses are expected to arrive this winter. The work is being completed in phases as we prepare and service begins. While we prepare, current transportation provider will stay in place. Safeway will continue providing service during the transition. This phased approach allows the district to build its staff routes and operating procedures without disrupting our daily transportation for students. We are improving communication across our district. Our district webpage provides route information, activity schedules, and department contacts. These improvements connect daily or directly to our new in-house transportation priorities. For our transportation priorities for the 26-27 school year, the goal is to have safe and reliable routes, better communication, stronger coordination, and a successful transition to in-house transportation. As we close, I want to return to the reason why this matters. Every route connects a student to school, service, or an opportunity. So our goal is to build a transportation department that is reliable, responsive, and accountable. That's it for me. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
actually do have a quick question. I don't know if I asked this before. Will the buses have cameras,
Yes, 4.
external and internal?
They will have internal,
No external cameras?
no external.
That's-
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 3.02, a discussion of the district's crisis management plan.
I would like to introduce Director of Security Michael Maiden and our 2 Associate Principals of Operations, Mr. Graham and Dr. Lowry.
All right. Good evening. Where's the clicker?
Right here.
Invisible. My apologies. Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Thomas.
Good evening.
Mr. Graham, Associate Principal of Operation at the Fine Arts Campus.
Good evening, I'm Dr. Lowry, the Associate Principal at STEM.
Good evening, Michael Maiden, Director of Security.
All right, I clicked every button.
No, not clicking?
Clicked every button.
Just imagine it's advanced.
Clicked every button.
Click, click, click,
I can,
click, click. There we
hey,
go.
all right. Good evening. We're here to talk about our crisis management plan and our approach to addressing that. Okay. Everything we do is around our vision and mission. Is it working now? Okay. No, it does not click that way. Okay. The most important piece to this is that our approach to this plan has been done in hopes that in our preparation that we'll do everything we can in our best efforts to provide safety and security for all students and families that are on our campus or even our staff. Most importantly, we're really, the last ones, the mitigation, the prevention, the preparedness, and response and recovery are our big focus as we move forward.
Or do you need it? You got it. You know what you're doing.
Yeah. It's the number.
Good evening. The review process and plan and stakeholders, we made adjustments based on Facebook and submitted a final plan to the board for approval. Back in March, we talked with certified staff and security. We also spoke with the students. In April and May, we did the district operation team, local police departments and fire departments, and building and grounds administrators.
All right, so board, I want to walk you through just a couple of the changes that we made to the crisis plan this year. You'll notice in your document, all edits were made in red so that you can see the red line changes that were made. As we do every year, we made adjustments based on staffing changes, titles, contact information, and the like. Appendix 3, which in your document in front of you is on page 38, thank you. We made an adjustment, an update to the aerial map for the STEM campus. Google hasn't updated to make sure our new ag science space looks wonderful on the version, but it's updated from what it used to look like. Appendix 10 is on page 57. And in that one, we updated the evacuation site for the FAC campus. We've identified the Lutheran Church right next door to FAC as one of the evacuation sites for that campus. So the contact information has been updated there. And Appendix 17, we've updated the Bell schedule for this year, which is on page 71. And that was all of our changes this year. Nothing really overwhelming. Any questions that you may have for us?
Sounds like not. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Move on to item 3.03, a discussion of the tentative budget for the 26-27 school year.
So this is one of the two big items that I have for the year, the budget and the levy. So this is our discussion of the tentative budget. This is the preliminary budget presentation, which needs to be presented ahead of the final budget presentation for next month. This preliminary budget was put on display on our website and at the front desk in the state form of the budget. We posted in a newspaper on August 3rd, and so we have done all of the things that the state is required for up to this point. Next September, next month, we will be asking for your board approval of the final budget. I always like to talk about the journey of the budget. Today actually started in January, where the board designated somebody, me, to begin the budget process. In the spring, the business office has a general idea of revenues and how much money we're taking in. And then the summer, there's a more realistic view on expenditures and where we're spending our money. When a preliminary budget is approved, that's what we're asking for today. Most, 99% or so of the budget is completed and only small changes are adjusted. The final budget must be approved again by the end of September and then submitted to the state. So we have a few financial goals for 2027, this school year. The first is we have completed a majority of all of our outside construction work. So we are trying to find spots in the next few years to be able to put in infrastructure work. Number two is last year we made a change in October from Infinite Visions to Skyward. And so we want to be able to make sure that we use the financial software to its full capacity. And so we're going to be doing trainings and webinars as much as we can. And then thirdly, we want to make sure in this year and in the next 5 years and 10 years and 30 years out that we've got specific planning on individual purchases that might affect now or in the next few years. So in this slide, we want to talk about what our expenses are and where our expenses come from. So like most organizations, the salaries come up in that red section is a majority of our expenses that we have, followed by our employee benefits. And so for our salaries and benefits, again, it's about 2/3 of everything that we pay for out of the budget. And then additionally is our revenues. Where does our money come from that we take in? So like most school districts that are around the Chicagoland area, a large portion, about 2/3 or more, come from our property tax revenues. So when I look at our revenues, we say, what are we projecting to bring in? So for our property tax, that red portion that was in the graph from before, we are allowed to ask whatever CPI is, Consumer Price Index, or inflation, whatever inflation comes through. So the government posts whatever that December previous number is, that's the number we go off of, and you'll hear more about that when we do our levy presentation in November. From the state, so the state has something called evidence-based funding that puts school districts into 4 different tiers. We are in tier 3, and so with our tier at 93% of adequacy right now, the state will give us another $70,000 for next year. The other portion of money that comes in is from our transportation report. Once we submit our transportation report and all of our expenses, a portion of that money of our expenditures comes back in the form of a grant. So because of last year's an increase in expenditures, the revenue from this year from that to cover costs will be a little bit higher. For federal revenue, we're expecting that to stay the same from grants or title grants, if not be a little bit less, and our interest, we're expecting to be about the same as well. If there is a slide that we say this is, what is the summary of everything, where do we want to look at, this is the slide that we look at. So in the next few slides, I'm going to tell you different buckets or funds that we have to put money in to spend out of. As a whole, we are projected that next year we're going to bring in $104 million. We're projected that we're going to spend $110 million. But just as a whole, if you look at that and say, without looking at operating and non-operating costs, you say, well, Dennis, you're losing $6 million, $5.9 million. But there's items that we've done that we've saved up for years, that we've said, we've put this aside for those big projects, and then this is the stuff that we do to operate the building day to day. So for our operating funds, the things that we do from year to year, from day to day, we are balanced in our expenditures that we have. For things that we've saved up, we're going to spend $5.9 million, which is exactly where we need to be at. So the first thing we look at is expenditures. So I have a historical for the last 3 years and for next year. So again, if on that top portion, that's the expenses that it takes to run a school district from day to day. So for next year, we're saying that we're going to spend $97 million to be able to run the school district. For the bottom portion that we take a look at, those are the things that we've been saving up for. The $4 million that's on the bottom, that's life safety. We were spending out of that 60 capital projects. So we're moving away from capital project expenditures and saying, for life safety, this will pay for the asphalt that we've already done. So that money has already been expended. It's just the bills come in over the summer, and the bills come in this year, and that's where we put it on the books. The other part is where our money comes in. Again, we're seeing that our operating is at $97 million. You'll see that from that last slide that it should match. And then you'll also see that there's that $6.5 million on the bottom portion. That includes what we pay out of our bonds and the other different funds that are there. I'm sorry, that we bring in from all those other funds. So we don't have revenue sources coming in, non-operating expenses or revenue that's there. The only thing that you're going to see is from when we do our bonds, we get that money in from the levy. And the last slide that looks like this talks about our fund balance. And if I were a board member, I would ask, what are we starting at and where are we ending at? So in this slide, you're going to see in the top portion, we're ending, you see that $28 million there? If you say, okay, we bring in 97, we expend 97, so we are going to be balanced. We're starting with $28 million, we're ending with $28 million. The bottom portion is the expenses that we spend for the things we've saved up for. So again, it's a balanced budget. And that concludes the portion on this item. Do you have any questions about the budget presentation? Yes, ma'am.
I missed something.
Okay.
So we go back to, and I only looked in one place, so maybe if I had looked in both places, I might not have missed it. So when the expenditures for 27 is 110, okay, and then our revenues are 104. So I missed the explanation about how that equals.
So if you look at our expenditure, it's a good question. So if you look at our expenditures that we have, so that part on the bottom that we save up for, so on the bottom, you're going to see there's that $4 million that's coming out on the bottom. There isn't $4 million that's coming in to replace it. So I always use the example of you've been saving up for 10 years to be able to redo your basement. So now you're doing that, you're redoing your basement. So if you were to do your personal expenditure report, you would show, I don't know how much it costs to redo a basement, but let's say it's $10,000. You would show on your personal expenditures that you spent $10,000 more than you would have, but you know every year you put in $1,000 to save for that one time.
So we've been putting that into life safety?
Yeah, so over the last few years, and even before I started, the only time that you put money into life safety is when you do a levy. And so there's a small portion that every year has been going into that fund. And since I've started, there's been funds in there to be able to take care of that. So you'll also see that, so in this year, we took care of the asphalt. We had budgeted about $3.3 million. We also want to be able to do, we're due for our 10-year life safety plan, and that also gets paid out of that life safety. That's a presentation for later on in the year, in the upcoming months that we do, but we need to be able to go through and say in the next 10 years, what are items, infrastructure items, that's what I saw before, that we may be able to tackle. So we need to do that plan. And so I don't expect to spend the full 10 million, or I'm sorry, the full 4 million, but we've got that spot there that'll be under that.
And how is that reflected on, because it's the next slide, right? That shows the balance. Where is that reflected here?
So on this one, you're gonna see a reduction. So on the bottom where it says total non-operating funds, $8.9 million, $8,964,000. So you're gonna see a reduction of that $5.9 million in that second to last column. And I don't know if I can do a laser on this, but
Yeah,
you're,
we use a laser. Help me see where to look.
I don't know if I have the capability to do a laser on this one.
All right, well, you
So let me go over and be a teacher for a second. So we started with this $8.9 million. So other than this debt service, so this is to pay our bonds. And we do a levy, and every year there's money that's in a levy that's dedicated specifically towards our debt service. So what'll happen is, we have this funds that are in here. We're starting this year with $8.9 million. We're gonna have expenditures that come through. We're gonna have I'm already here.
I think he likes being over there.
We're gonna have expenditures that come through that are higher than this. So what'll wind up happening is, once we take this out, we're gonna end the year, so we started with 8.9, we're gonna end the year in just this section right here with a little over $3 million left. And again, this is the portion of things that we say we've saved up for. So even our bond payment, those are things we saved up for a lot of time, where we put in a bond, we're paying off over time. So this is not the portion that we talk about, what does it take to run a school? And I know this is all part of the school, but this is not to take the day-to-day operation of the school. This is the portion here. And so if you can look in this fund here, once we get through the end of the year, there's not a bulk. You're not seeing $20 million in this portion right here. We've done Ag Science, we've done Door 5, we've done the field house. All those things you would have seen in this portion over here. And so now moving forward, what we need to do over the next 4 or 5 years is, we need to be able to build this section back up. So we got to the point that we're like, okay, we're here. That asphalt, we made it through that asphalt. Everything's in that spot. So now as years come through, as long as we can keep maintaining this, when we do our levy, whenever we have a spot that we're like, okay, we have a little extra to do our basement, let's put this in that side fund over here to be able to build this back up. Now there's some things on here that you're seeing that you're like, you need to focus on those first. So last year, we spent the whole year talking about transportation. We talked about the increase in prices. So we had a budget, we had a number that was in there, and then mid-year it changed, even more than duplicated. And so the number that we had, that we started with our fund balance in transportation, you're gonna see that we ended the year in a negative, and we're gonna be building this up over the next couple of years. And so when we see our audit, this will be a conversation that comes up again, and be like, hey, listen, you've gotta put the right numbers in the right bucket. It can't be something that right now I say, okay, I'll move this over, move this over. It needs to take board resolution or years to be able to put it in the right spot. We're still in a good place that we have this number that's here. We just have to make sure that in the next upcoming years, whatever's not going into this spot, we make sure that we increase it here, so that in 4 or 5 years, we can come back and say, okay, we want to do another capital project, we want to do a pull things on life safety. That's the next year, next people that be able to make those moves. Did I answer your question?
You did.
Did I
Thank
talk
you.
too much?
No, it's perfect.
So the next item is actually about this number, the Fund 30 in there, so it kind of leads in the right way. You ready?
Good.
Luis, did you switch me? So we, in 2020, took out 2 bonds. These are called alternate bonds. This is separate than what you would normally see in a community about a normal bond if a school district takes out. So if the school district were to take out a $100 million bond, this would be added onto a levy that would go out. It would go into taxes. In 2020, we did something called an alternative bond. We said we had enough fund balance to be able to just loan against ourselves. So these alternative bonds are a loan against ourselves that we pay for out of our fund balance without increasing a levy. And so this is our payment schedule, and I put a few years past just because I think it's good to see prior years. But you can see what we have moving forward. Every single year, you will see me stand on this stage we're in August, and say we would need to do a board resolution to be able to transfer funds from Fund 10 to 20 to 30. And what that means is that we're moving it out of those operating funds and putting it into a non-operating fund, that debt service, to be able to pay for the funds. This is the way that this bond structure was set up. It's used through a lot of schools, but it's not always public because when people hear bonds, they just think of my taxes are going up. That's not the case on these. So I'll be asking for next month for your approval of the resolution. If you're okay, I'm going to go to the next item. So this is the discussion of the electricity bid. This is one of the fun things that people in my seat get to do. We did an electricity bid. I came to you in May and asked that for your approval to be able to secure a price for our electricity bid. In June, you gave me the approval. On the very next day, on June 18th, we did the bid. We had 11 different companies on our screen, and we saw a graph that every time they would put in a bid, there were 101 different counter bids to try to beat one of the 11 other companies that were there. So we had 4 different of those different instances that came up. So we had different options, and they were 1 year, 2 year, 3 or 4, actually 5, and 5 year. So what we took a look at was what the market was going to happen in the next couple of years and what the best deal was. And what we realized was there is a lot of we don't know what's going to be happening with energy, especially with data centers, with the war in Iraq that's happening. And so we felt it was best to reach out to 4 years. This represents an 8% increase in cost for next year, which nobody wants, but it secures a 0% increase from year 2, 3, and 4. So the number that we have, that's 0.0640 kilowatts, is our rate that we're having for the next 4 years that will be secured. So even if electricity comes up, this portion of the bill will not change. I'm going to pause for questions. And I'm sorry I have so much for this board meeting. I had a good summer. So 3.06 is we have driver's ed, and we have 6 driver's ed vehicles. And currently we have a Jeep Renegade that I like because it has a red tint on the side. Looks like a Raptor car. But the lease is up. And so the lease is up in October, and we need to be able to get new vehicles there. And so I'll be asking for approval to move forward. Our old cars are Jeep Renegades that Jeep doesn't make anymore. So the new cars are a Jeep Compass. And so I'll be asking for a 48-month agreement. Before price was decided, we had said we need something comparable that our kids will fit in. And when they came back with the Compass, it also came back that it was about $60 cheaper per month. So there's a win on that side too. And this is by the South Oak Chrysler Jeep Ram in Matson. And 3.7 is the discussion of disposal of textbooks. Our Spanish class had old textbooks that last year you approved that we would have new ones, and so we need to get rid of the old ones. And anything that's a disposal needs to be approved by the board. So we have about 300 books that we need to get rid of. And I tried to say Authentico in an accent, and it didn't work out, so I won't do that today. But we need to dispose of those books. 3.8. This is also one of the reasons that I love working here. We have been working with a bunch of groups to be able to get to this point. And so I'm going to come back to my notes here. So this brings together Rich Township High School District 227, the South Suburban Land Bank, the Village of Richland Park, the new entity of Southland Career and Technical Education Center. So there's a property that's in Richland Park that is in desperate need of being done over. So this is the best picture possible of the house. We're able to walk through, and it is in complete, it's not livable, not even close. And so we have the opportunity to work with our students and our stakeholder construction companies to be able to rehabilitate this property. This is in unison with all the other school districts that combine with the Southland Career and Technical Education Center. And so we have the opportunity to be able to obtain this property at free of cost, but we have to pay the closing costs. That's about $12,000 or so. And so I'll be asking for your approval actually tonight to be able to move forward with this, and so that we can obtain this property. And my last item is we have a special education cooperative, SPEED. And SPEED uses one of their classrooms, and one of our classrooms. And because they use one of our classrooms, we get to send them a lease. And so we have a lease with them that they pay us $12,000 a year to be able to use one of our classrooms for their organization. And so it's a board-approved item. And so I'll be asking for your approval with this as well. And I know I talked for a long time. This concludes my report. Thank you for all of your time. Let me talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 4.01, a recognition of citizens. I have one card so far. Okay, so Sequoia Williams. Ms. Williams. Oh, I didn't know if you heard me.
Good evening, board president, cabinet, staff, community, parents. I'm a little flabbergasted, a little floored, a little confused. So we had a tornado. And I feel like the leadership, the lack of leadership, is very important to discuss. So we had a storm, and for days I looked out at my email to see if anything would go out to my parents, because parents from District 160 had also reached out to me saying that, that they needed things because their power was out. So nothing went out from District 160 or 227. So I sent the email to the leadership team asking for you guys to send out resources. I don't feel like I should have had to do that. I feel like when Kankakee had something, we took swarms of trucks out there. We had donations going. I would love to see where the trucks are loaded at right now for the families here in need in our own neighborhoods. I would like to notate for the record that I submitted a parent advisory council proposal to Dr. Thomas, and that was rejected. To add insult to injury, I created a survey for my parents that I shared with the district. And I shared with and have been sharing with not just this district, other districts, the community, ISC4, et cetera. And Dr. Gallick sent me an email stating that you guys created a team with Red Cross Southland yourself based off of the survey that I created, but left me off the team. I need to understand what we're doing for our parents right now. This is it's problematic for me. So I also want to make sure that if we have families that need book bags, that we are purchasing those book bags based off of whatever funding the district has for, I guess, book bags, to my understanding. And I want to make sure that our families are getting the resources that they need. I feel like as a parent leader, my parents have entrusted me with this responsibility, and I do take this responsibility very serious. For me to have to hunt leadership down is very problematic for me. I call Red Cross for my families. And the lack of communication, but we've been talking about this all year. We were talking about the same thing last year, and it's problematic for me, Dr. Thomas. If I'm a part of leadership, although I do not work for the district, I need to be included at the table so that we're all on the same accord. It's problematic, and so I need answers as to how the district moving forward will help with these things. Additionally, I've created relationships with 501Cs in order for our children to go over and volunteer with them, so I will get that over to you all. I'm going to FOIA what the protocols are on the proposal, because I sent the proposal and it doesn't take 2 months to respond back to a proposal. It's very unacceptable. Additionally, we're in the midst of creating a resource hub for our parents, and I'm working with community stakeholders as well, and Red Cross will also be included in that for our families. At some point, we have to come together, whether we like it or not, and work as a team. And PTSO and the parents are a part of that team. So when we address a whole child, you can't exclude the parents from the whole child. So there is just some answers I need. There is some meetings we need to have. We need to have some conversations, because this is not working. Thank you.
Good evening, board, and Dr. Thomas, how are you? It's so nice to be back in front of you guys. So for our August FOIA report, please bear with me. We have 24 to read. So we will begin. On May 6th, the Data Branch research team, Marcus Webb, requested contracts, purchasing records, and pricing information for several technology and service vendors. That was completed. The Data Branch on May 27th, Maya Brooks, requested purchasing and pricing records for several educational and transportation-related vendors. That FOIA was completed. On June 3rd, Connor Parker from the Data Branch research team requested purchasing and pricing records for several technology companies. That FOIA was completed. On June 4th, Sophie Sherry requested the personnel file for the district's director of security. That FOIA was completed. On June 4th, Daniel Kramer requested utility, facility condition, and energy-related records. That FOIA was completed. On June 8th, the Data Branch research team, Caleb Harding, requested purchasing and pricing records for several communications platform vendors. That FOIA was completed. On June 8th, Bo Kim requested bid records and award information for the 26 FAC campus roof replacement project. That FOIA was completed. June 15th, 2026, the Data Branch research team, Nathan Cook, requested purchasing and pricing records for several technology and educational vendors. That FOIA was completed. On June 17th, Katrina Mascarnas requested records related to the district's FOIA postings, email system, and email filtering practices. That FOIA was completed. On June 18th, the Data Branch research team, Ashton Rutherford, requested purchasing and pricing records for several staffing and educational service vendors. That FOIA was completed. On June 24th, Sequoia Williams requested records related to proposed board policy revisions and related communications. That FOIA was completed. On June 25th, the Data Branch research team, Weston Adler, requested purchasing records for several security, technology, and educational vendors. That FOIA was completed. On June 29th, the Data Branch research team, Alina Whitfield, requested purchasing and pricing records for several college and career and custodial equipment vendors. That FOIA was completed. On July 6th, Piper Donahue from the Data Branch research team requested purchasing and pricing records for Helios, EdCore, Droplet, and DocuSign. That FOIA was completed. Maureen Whitlock from the Data Branch Research Team on July 9th requested purchasing and pricing records for several safety communications and classroom technology vendors. That FOIA was completed. Robert Mercer from the Data Branch Research Team on July 9th requested purchasing and pricing records for Helios, EdCore, Droplet, and DocuSign. That FOIA was completed. On July 9th, Nicholas from the Data Branch Research Team requested contract records related to Absolute Software products. That FOIA was completed. On July 10th, the Data Branch Research Team, Caleb Harding, requested purchasing and processing records for several identity management and educational technology vendors. That FOIA was completed. On July 14th, Sina Montgomery from the Data Branch Research Team requested purchasing and pricing records for several curriculum and instructional software vendors. That FOIA was completed. On July 15th, Sequoia Williams requested records related to Camille Robinson's interim director appointment, employment terms, compensation, and position. That FOIA was completed. On July 16th, Emma Gonzalez from the Data Branch Research Team requested purchasing and pricing records for several online curriculum and educational technology vendors. That FOIA was completed. On July 20th, Sam Crombie requested District Club activity sponsor and student activity related records. That FOIA was completed. On July 20th, the Data Branch Research Team, Corey Blanc, requested purchasing and pricing records for several accessibility, internet filtering, and student safety technology vendors. That FOIA was completed. And finally, on August 4th, Tony Bass requested records regarding electronic monitoring policies, charter school funding, employees' salaries, district vendors, and state funding, and that FOIA was completed. And that concludes the FOIA report for August. Are there any questions? Okay. I'm good. I got through it. Okay. All right, so we have obviously started school. We are back, and as Ms. Williams has stated, we did kind of delay some of our starts, so we brought our freshmen back on the 14th. Nope, correction. We brought our freshmen back on the 17th and our whole school back on the 18th. So that was Monday and Tuesday. Had a absolutely wonderful start. This week, our fall athletic competitions began. Our golf team is actually competing right now in the first 2026-2027 Raptor competition. So we haven't gotten any feedback yet in regards to how they did. We are hosting on Thursday and Friday activities fair, both at the STEM campus on Thursday and then on Friday at the FAC campus. And the students will be attending those during their PE and health classes. On August 26th, that will be our first Late Start Wednesday. So students will be following the Late Start Wednesday schedule on that day. Bus routes are posted on the transportation webpage for the Late Start Wednesday bus routes. On the 27th and 28th, our student support service team is bringing back the Ronald McDonald Mobile Care Units. On the 27th, they will be at the STEM campus, and on the 28th, they will be at the FAC campus. Students will have the opportunity to get school and sports physicals along with required immunizations for eligible students. Also on the 27th, our buildings will be hosting the back to school night at both of the campuses. The principals will welcome families in at 5:30, and they will be able to move around the campuses and meet their staff from 6 to 8. And that's going to take place at both campuses, 5:30, so their home campus will be the campus that they attend. And then moving into September, the district is closed for Labor Day, Monday, September 7th. And then September 15th is the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. And I know our climate and culture team have already started sending out some requests in regards to some of the celebration around our Hispanic heritage. Are there any questions?
Was there any mention about the launch program? You want to share that out with the board?
The Launch Consortium program? Yes, I can share that out.
So Matt's pulling up his phone because I think that the date is what I need confirmed. But we have been working with Southland and other area high schools to provide a resource that isn't typically allotted to our families and our students in the South suburban areas. There are 5, I believe, very prestigious universities, usually who spend their time in the North Shore or to the north, who are coming with admissions counselors to the south suburbs. It will be the first time in the history that they have come to the south suburbs to interview our top-performing students for direct admission into schools like Brown, WashU, and things of that nature. And so we're really excited about this opportunity for our kids, and we've begun working to identify the students and get their families notified so they can participate in that wonderful activity.
So yes, on Monday, August 31st at 7 p.m. at the Southland College and Career Charter High School, as Dr. Thomas said, there are going to be a number of colleges, Cornell University, Emory University, Poma College, Rice University, and Washington University in St. Louis that will be interviewing some top students from the local school districts. And as Dr. Thomas said, this is going to be one of the first times. So we're very excited for the opportunity for our scholars to be afforded that opportunity. So again, Monday, August 31st at 7 p.m. For the Classic, yes. We are. I know, you've got all of them. Okay, so we have not finalized these details. However, we were provided an opportunity to host the Mississippi Valley State University Marching Band. So in partnership with Southland College Prep, the band is going to come to the FAC Stadium on September 11th. At 3:45, and we are finalizing that flyer, so we will make sure that we get that out. We are inviting some of the very similar high schools that will be going to the consortium. We'll be inviting them out for to hear the Mississippi Valley State University Marching Band, and then have an opportunity to actually engage with some of those students and their band director to kind of hear a little bit more about what it takes to kind of move into that next level and potentially be offered opportunities to try out for HBCU, which I know Southland and us do partner, and they hold later on in the fall. So September 11th, Friday, 3:45, we will be hosting the Mississippi Valley State University Marching Band. Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. You do a fantastic job.
I also would like to thank the board for allowing us to send our food truck over to the tornado relief site to provide foods to our families. And not only did we provide food in partnership with Southland, we also had a strong partnership with Richland Park, and their police department also took part in eating a delicious meal as a part of the support that we've been giving back to the community. So I'd like to thank the board for allowing us to do that.
Absolutely. Any questions? You got anything else? Thank you so much. Yeah, it's so nice to be back in front of you guys.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, Dr. Thomas. I'm Latricia Varnada, co-principal at the STEM campus.
And I am Lynn Fields, co-principal at the Fine Arts and Communication campus. Might be this one. No, there's that one. Our district vision and mission. Is it working or are you doing it? It's this one? Okay, just want to make sure. This one. Okay, all right. Make sure. Our focus areas, our priority focus areas of academic rigor, organizational climate, and communication.
Our district targets, academic excellence, early college, climate and attendance, and our feeder school partnership.
our pillars that we use to guide our work around academic achievement, post-secondary success, school pride, and global citizenship. Under academic achievement,
Our freshman on-track data, we're very proud of. We have 95% on track for our freshman students. This is beating out the state as far as our on-track data.
so big congratulations to our ninth grade team. They put in a lot of hard work, have built a culture around students excelling, and so we are proud of that number, and we continue to celebrate them for last year's results. Not only do we track freshmen on track, we also monitor our graduation readiness for our 10th, 11th, and of course, our graduation rate for our seniors. This year, 10th and 11th grade finished at 83% respectively in both grade levels. Slight decrease from where we were last year, but this is still a trend upward in overall data from when we started tracking these numbers. So that's something we're still proud of. And then, of course, we are again outpacing the state with our graduation rate. Our seniors finished at 90%, so this is awesome news. And so our overall goal is to be at 90% across all 4 grade levels. We are tracking right under 89%, so we haven't quite got there yet, but we are again still trending upward in all of our data. So this is still something to celebrate.
Our math growth, we met our target for expected or higher than expected growth in math of 88% for last year. So that's another thing to celebrate.
Something though that we really, not that the numbers, the percentages, anything to shy away from, something though that we really want to emphasize. One of our highest areas of growth on our 5 Essential survey. This is the survey and our respondent of all children about their experience in math. And so this has grown more than any other segment of our 5 Essential survey. So our kids are stating that they're having a better experience in math and are responding well to the new instruction, because we actually adopted a new curriculum, of course, last year, Carnegie Math, which you all are aware of.
In English, our growth, our higher than expected growth is 84%. We did not meet our goal of the 86%, but we're still trending upward.
And again, not to leave English out, another great data point for our 5 Essential survey is the educational experience in the classroom that kids are experiencing through our English instruction. So in general, what we're saying is kids are enjoying the instruction. The changes that we made, both in our initiatives focused on literacy as well as numeracy, kids are again expressing to everyone that they're liking it. They're gravitating towards it. So that's a fantastic place to be. Yes, I see Dr. Gallick smiling about that over there.
Our AP numbers, we have just 2 off from last year with our total numbers, but we have 147 unique students that took AP tests, and 29% of those students got a 3 or higher on AP exams.
Where the students were successful at, we even had 7 freshmen gain college credit by scoring that 3 or higher on our AP scores. Our second biggest cohort group was our sophomores, and of course our seniors finished out with the most students earning college credit. Not to be left out, our IB students are also growing, so our total number of IB students has increased. We had 15 of them score, and they have to score on the IB testing a 4 or higher, but we had 32% of our IB students that sat for the test gain college credit as well. Where the IB students were gaining college credit at, as you can see, were in a variety of courses, primarily Lit and Lang, as well as history, but then also in Spanish, French, visual art, math, and dance. Under global citizenship, some of this data you all should be familiar with. We closed out the year through May, but this is a comparison where we were overall for our attendance over the past 3 years, so you can see the progress across each school year. And then this is a side-by-side comparison by month across each school year. While our overall goal was 90%, which we did not make as of yet, you can see we're still trending up in the right direction, but we're making a concerted effort to increase our average daily attendance and focus on our consistent attendance this school year.
As you already know, Raptor Ready and Raptor Ready Plus, we have a focus on that in order to support students to understand where they're tracking and how they can improve.
When we closed out last year, we did not have our final data for Raptor Ready, so this is where we finished out for the school year. As you can see by campus, the majority of our students were Raptor Ready and Raptor Ready Plus. I know on the STEM campus, the black section is blank. It's just because of the spacing, but it was actually almost 18% of students were Raptor Ready Plus there. As a district, over 60% of our students are Raptor Ready and Raptor Ready Plus. This is their status by grade level. And this is their status by our academy structure. Under Raptor Pride.
Our Human X survey was another area which we wanted to celebrate. We were increased year over year by 24% for students and our staff participation by 2% over last year.
We also grew with our 5 Essential survey participation, 38% more students participated, as well as 23% more staff participated. So we are up in all categories across both surveys. Our new goal for this year is 85% participation rate on both surveys in all 4 spaces of students and staff participation.
Our athletics is another area of celebration. We increased our participation 11% in athletics and 28.74% in activities from 2022 to 2023, since that point.
Something that we take note of is that when kids are connected through activities and athletics, they have a better overall connection to the school as well as the overall experience. If you can see something that we definitely like to brag about is students that are participating in athletics as well as activities actually have a higher GPA overall in comparison to their peers. And so that's something that we keep track of and are very proud of for that connection with the school. They were busy over the summer. Football had their summer camp. Of course, girls basketball had a robust summer camp, and band every year has a strong summer camp program as well.
And our first day of school, students were greeted by the band, cheerleaders, and had various activities to keep them engaged during that first day.
And we want to close out with kind of a year-end recap, and so we'll let the video kind of speak for itself.
While we were out taking care of emergencies, you guys asked the teachers to do something with the children or with their children. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So,
Go ahead.
you about to go.
No. What we asked the teachers to do is take their first period rosters and call families in order to check in on them, to see how the families were doing and see how their students were doing, and just to introduce themselves in order to make sure we had that outreach and connection with families.
We know that our staff members as well as our community have been impacted by all the storms, so we wanted to make sure that folks know that we were considering them and thinking about them and making sure they have what they need to be successful and come to school with what they need.
And I'd like to thank Ms. Williams for bringing that to our attention and allowing for us to put that kind of plan in place to help our families. Also, the resource piece that went out, which is an ongoing document to all of our families, is out to the community as well. So I'd like to thank you for helping us think about those things and putting them out there.
Well, and since we're on that topic, curiously, did we get a lot of outreach from families asking for resources?
So how do I say this? In a lot of situations when we could make contact, because there are opportunities or spaces where you couldn't get communication, we have had people inquire to our food pantry, how to find resources. We had responses of, thank you for providing almost kind of like a one place to get all of the information at once in terms of how to get in touch with the Greater Food Depository, Red Cross. Where were some resources being communicated to? How do I, get information from the different communities that we support? Like, where do we go for any type of communication? If I need to report something from trees down or down power lines, et cetera, who do I call? How do I call? So it was a good place to put it all, and then that was the feedback we were receiving. Some folks simply just said, hey, how are you all doing? Because I'm out of power. Is there still going to be school? So some people just wanted some basic information in terms of, are we still having school on this day, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, we had to adjust our calendar to meet the needs because we were still, of course, without power as well. So it was good to have that dialogue, bring them up to speed, answer some of their questions. And some of it was just making sure we're giving accurate information out.
Got it. And since you brought up because we did have to change our start for the students, there were at least one family that reached out to me and they were concerned about the family night being rescheduled. Have we rescheduled that?
So yes, part of why we have kind of adjusted back to school night, we typically kind of started at 6 with the principal presentation. We actually moved that piece up to give more time and include some of the activities we were going to do on family night for back to school night. We want to, well, I guess, we'll be communicating this out too, but actually have parents be able to walk their students' full schedule. We're going to be offering building tours, things that we maybe didn't do normally that we'd have done on the family, freshman family night to actually give them access, because most people want to see our facilities. Mm-hmm. We're incorporating that time into back to school night. So we've moved our portion up to give them more time to access the building, ask more questions, and spend time with teachers.
Got it. And that's going to get communicated out.
Correct.
That's next week, right?
Yes. I mean, well, the event is next week, but yes, our communication will go out.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you still more?
Don't tell your dreams to everybody around. Some people smile, but wanna see you down. Keep it quiet, don't make a sound. Let your success be what shakes the ground.
Don't tell your dreams to everybody around. Some people smile, but wanna see you down. Keep it quiet, don't make a sound. Let your success be what shakes the ground.
Haven't earned $1 million yet, but I'm aiming for the sky. One day I'll fill a stadium, watch the crowd multiply. Talking about my hard work, now they're watching every move. This next step is just a warm-up, got a lot more to prove. Secure my position, and my partners are impressed. Used to stress at the starting line, now I'm chasing nothing less. Work smart, not hard, that's how the maximum is made. Got local currency for now, but the dollar's on the way. I cannot forget betrayal, that's a line I won't erase. I don't need the fame, just the power and the place. Competitors chasing numbers, ready, set, go, start the race. I'm running too, but with patience, keeping steady pace. Got a mentor by my side, that's the way it's meant to be. Against the crowd, we stand out heavy, they can clearly see. Focused on results, never begging for attention. Built our foundation in the streets with pure intention.
Don't tell your dreams to everybody around. Some people smile, but wanna see you down. Keep it quiet, don't make a sound. Let your success be what shakes the ground. Don't tell your dreams to everybody around. Some people smile, but wanna see you down. Keep it quiet, don't make a sound. Let your success be what shakes the ground.
Thank you.
Good evening again, everyone. So just a few things. I would like to first sincerely thank the parent community and staff for entrusting us with the responsibility and allowing us to serve as their parent leaders. We are honored to represent our families and are committed to working together to support our students, staff, and school community. Updates. We have held 2 executive meetings since May of 2026. We appreciate the staff spotlights featured on the district's website. A PTSO recommendation would be that we would suggest adding the Director of Security to the district staff spotlights as well. We also appreciate the district's monthly calendar communications. These updates help families plan more effectively so that we can be present and participate in school and district activities. Our first official PTSO meeting for the 2026-2027 school year will be held on September 8th, 2026. We are currently seeking parents to fill vacancies, which would be secretary, treasurer, and parent liaison. We are currently working on a movie night for the children at the FAC campus on the football field. And we are working to finalize dates for upcoming fundraisers. And that is all of the updates that we have currently. Ready? Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety and rest of the agenda. Motion by Taylor. Second by Allen. Are there any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Carter.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes, motion carries. Item 8.01, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the tentative budget for the 26-27 school year. Motion by Taylor,
Second.
second by Allen. Are there any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, can we call the roll?
Carter.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes, motion carries. Item 8.02, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the agreement to acquire 22129 East Churchill Drive in Richton Park, Illinois, in the amount of $11,950.
So moved.
Motion by Taylor,
Second.
second by Allen. Are there any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, can we call the roll?
Carter. Yes. Taylor.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes, motion carries. Item 9.01, the chair to entertain a motion to approve the renewal of contracts for the 26-27 school year for Newsela in the amount of $42,370.
So moved.
Motion by Taylor,
Second.
second by Allen. Are there any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, can we call the roll?
Carter. Yes. Taylor.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes, motion carries. Item 9.02, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the renewal of contracts for the 26-27 school year for Academic Approach in the amount of $74,250.
So moved.
Motion by Taylor,
Second.
second by Allen. Are there any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, could we call the roll?
Carter. Yes. Taylor.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes, motion carries. Item 9.03, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the contracts for the 26-27 school year for ACRA in the amount of $53,300.
So moved.
Motion by Taylor,
Second.
second by Allen. Are there any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, can we call the roll?
Carter. Yes. Taylor.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes, motion carries. Item 10.01, the chair would entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. the placement of individual students in special education programs and other matters relating to individual students, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal. Security procedures, school building safety, and security, and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual or threatened or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property.
So moved.
Motion by Taylor,
Second.
second by Allen. Could we call the roll?
Carter. Yes. Taylor.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bowden.
Yes. We'll now go, motion carries with, yeah, she's, that's great energy. All right, so then that takes us to any old. Who do you have with you? Oh, yeah.
This is my daughter, this is Michaela, and this is Jonathan, my son-in-law, and then this is my grandson.
Aww.
He's 4 months.
He's looking around like, what's happening?
And I actually have 2 other sons, one lives in Arizona, and the other one lives in Wisconsin. They have all given me grandbabies, I have 3 grandsons.
Aw.
And my son in Arizona, they have another one on the way, so I'll be another granny come March. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, is there any old or new business for the Board of Education?
I just want to say that I attended the Institute Day, and it was really nice, despite all of the rain and tornado warnings.
Yeah, she's,
and all that stuff.
that's great energy. Oh, that was me talking? I know,
Yes.
I know I recognize my voice.
She like,
Oh,
who's
my
that?
goodness.
I thought I had fell asleep.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. I think the administration did a great job. I absolutely love the energy from you guys. You know, Dr. Thomas is gonna be who he is, so you expect what you get from him. But it was good to see Dr. Bonomo, Mr. Forst, and Dr. Gallick come out on stage along with the co-principals, and, you know, they had a lot of little comedy parts. And so, but I definitely enjoyed it, as I do every year, and I just want to say kudos to you all. Thank you for bringing in our staff on a good note, and hopefully they will stay that way the whole year.
Very nice. Well, it's been a great summer. It's time to get back to work.
Okay, but don't end with that.
Okay, anything else? All right, well, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Taylor. Second by Allen. Could we call the roll?
Carter,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Allen, Vaughn.
Yes, motion carries.